All right, we'll get started. I guess I was expecting Councillor Briggs this evening. However, he may be running a little bit late. I would like to call to order the special City Council meeting. Immediately following this, we will have a Budget and Finance meeting. The reason for the special City Council this meeting is to consider the status of Drain Services Incorporated and the contract that we have for the CIPP work. City Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. What we've included in your packet is a letter that was prepared by the city engineer, and after consulting with the Public Works Director regarding the work that Drain Services Incorporated has been doing for the city, and essentially they're doing the CIPP work, which is the cured in place lining of the sanitary sewer system. And you can see from the correspondence that they've sent some monies back, or some requests for additional funds. Drain Services Incorporated was the low bidder on the project, and so they've made some requests for additional monies, and after review of their request and the conduct of the company up to now and the lack of progress that they've made, the engineering firm is recommending that we terminate the contract with them based on the contract language, and I've included in your packet the section that was referenced where the city can terminate the contract. Owner may terminate for convenience. And so the letter that the engineers prepared was provided, and in conversing with the city attorney regarding this matter, because the city council entered into the contract arrangement with them, it's the city attorney's opinion that before the letter can be sent out, the council needs to authorize the termination of the contract for convenience purposes. So
okay.
I do want to point out that Brian Bai is on the phone remotely. He's the engineer that's worked on this project, prepared the plans and specifications. He may have some introductory comments. If he doesn't, he is available to respond to any specific questions that the council may have of WIDSEF, as well as the Public Works Director, Ted Brokaw, is here to answer questions too. Okay.
Mr. Bai, do you have anything to bring forward to the council on the termination of the contract?
No, I think, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think the letter says it pretty well. You know, we've been working with the city and with Ted specifically, and you know, Ted had a budget, and based on that budget and televising that the city has, you know, done an extensive amount of sewer main televising in the past, and the goals of your I&I reduction plan, we put together plans and specs with the goal of getting as much sewer main lined as possible and grouting the services that could be grouted along the way. Grouting is about a $250 per service practice, and if you can't grout them, you just move on. And what Drain Services is recommending is a $2,500 practice at each service, you know, even the ones that could be grouted. So that's, you know, comes out to a very substantial amount of money, and you know, what he's proposing is just way too far out of the scope of the project to move forward with.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Bai? I guess, oh please.
No, I don't.
I guess I have one question as a follow-up to this. So if this work was originally scheduled for 2020 for $399,000, are we going to rebid this project for part of 2021?
Yeah, we'll work with the city, with you know, Ted and Ken on how we want to move forward with it. One thought we have is maybe a pilot project where we take a couple of blocks and quote those out and have those done and just see what we're really dealing with down there. These rehab projects are, you know, kind of kind of an interesting thing is you're relying on the televising that you have. You can't go and physically take a look at everything. So it seems like each contractor has different opinions, that we've worked with a few other ones. And maybe that's the route we go, start with a pilot project before bidding out a larger project.
Okay. All right, so at this time, unless anyone has any questions for Mr. Bai or the Public Works Director.
Do we have a bill for what they've completed?
No, they have not provided those quantities yet. We have, they have unit prices, and we have from the contract that's in place, and we haven't received the quantities or a pay request from the contractor yet.
Okay. Does that satisfy your question? Okay. So at this time, then the chair would entertain a motion to send the letter regarding the cancellation of the contract with the contractor.
I would so move that we do that, but not pay the amount that they bill us for until we see it.
Okay.
We terminate the contract, but I'm not in favor of making a payment until we see what it is.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councillor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councillor Kraus. Discussion?
Just a quick point, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, and Ted, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Councillor Deitch ask initially when we looked at this if this was a reputable company and if this was, I'm not saying we did a bad thing, but it's just kind of ironic that, we had those initially when we signed this contract, we were skeptical, and I think the skepticism came true. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, that would. Yes.
Thank you.
But to the credit of both the council and Widseth, when we initially had questioned the amount, we did go and have them vetted and had the company looked at to make sure that they were a good company. As it turns out,
Because I think the concern was that it was exceptionally low, if I remember correctly.
that is accurate.
And now they just amped it up.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Ted's coming forward. Make sure the microphone's on.
Smirking.
Yes, the original price from them was considerably lower from the other three contractors. But I will say Widseth did go out. There were some agreements that Drain Services had to make that they were going to have factory reps on hand to oversee the work they were going to do, just in case they did not have the background. But we never got that far. And, their original bid was just under $400,000. The paperwork I got the end of October was they wanted almost another $600,000. So I mean, and they really haven't done anything. They've televised, pre-cleaned, and they've actually had a subcontractor do some manhole work. So, and substantial completion was the 23rd of October. We got a packet that on the 26th of October. So we need to get out, go back and look at to try and see if there were something that was left out of that we missed, but I don't believe that's the case. So,
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, but I would assume that we're probably, the number they're coming back with is probably closer to those original other quotes. So I just found it ironic.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to remove ourselves from the contract and to not pay the contractor until we see the bills come in. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. All right, with that being the only item of business on our special city council meeting, I will adjourn this meeting.